stop 2 in the Think Change training, Planning for the Future of a Loved One with IDD. Our next stop on our roadmap is the Start Planning stop. In order to do this, we must know the person. And this may seem really obvious, but we want to give you a clear path that really allows for person-centered planning. We have included some workbooks at the end of this section that can help with person-centered planning and to kind of navigate that process. The Start Planning stop is really a time for us to focus on the person that we are planning for. And I want you to really focus on their identity. What are their goals? What are their routines? What are their preferences? And what do they need to feel safe? Best practice when we're doing these future plans is to involve the person with the IDD in as many planning decisions as possible, because self-determination is really the right to make choices about one's life, and it's a really core principle of person-centered planning. One planning area is daily life, and that's also their well-being. So we want you to think about things that others need to know about when you're no longer here. What are their routines like? How do they communicate? What are some of their sensory needs or their medical needs or their behavioral needs? How do they get around town? Lots of things like that. So these planning areas can really help capture comfort and health and routine and personal functioning. And these details can help prevent disruption, reduce stress, and protect safety during transitions. Home, work, and community. The where and how a person lives is also so important. It is the person's quality of life and their sense of belonging and meaning. So you need to think about things like housing preferences, employment, maybe there's a day program involved or the desire to get that set up, relationships, as well as community involvement. Legal and financial. Although these planning areas can feel overwhelming, we've heard these can feel almost the most overwhelming of this entire process, but this is really what helps keep the person secure. We want to protect that long-term stability and access to disability services, housing, healthcare, and more. And so financial supports and benefits, such as things through the Social Security Administration, like supplemental security income, or you might hear SSI, or Medicaid, or home and community-based services, where you might hear HCBS waivers, or trusts. In stop 4 along this roadmap of the training, I'm going to cover a lot more about those legal and financial and medical pieces, because oftentimes this requires a higher level of planning and oftentimes professional support. Perhaps you are the caregiver who's watching this training. You must establish a succession plan. And I want you to think about, if I was unable to provide care tomorrow, who would step in and would they know what to do? Knowing who will provide care, advocacy, and oversight now well into the future is arguably the most critical planning step. Establishing a succession plan means that that person with the IDD is never left without someone responsible for their well-being if they need that help. So let's talk more about how to get started with this. So there's something called a letter of intent. And so this is a written guide that explains a person's daily routines, their preferences, their goals, and so much more. And despite the name, it's not really a letter, it's more of a detailed guide. And this is something that families can create on their own. You know your loved one best, and so this is your chance to capture what matters most to them. It can work alongside those legal and financial plans that you'll put in place by sharing those really important details that those documents may not always include. And it really can help keep everyone on the same page, and is oftentimes one of those first things that caregivers rely on when they're new to providing care to that person. I will share a letter of intent workbook and some other resources at the end of this section. So I want to do another activity that focuses on knowing your loved one. So remember that piece of paper that we started on at the last stop? I want you to go to square number 2. And if you don't have that paper anymore, all good. Go get yourself another one and we can start over. But I just want you to start thinking about knowing your loved one, that if something happened tomorrow, someone would know to care for your loved one the way that you do. So in box 2, what I want you to do is write down thoughts that you have about your loved one. This is to really help get you start thinking about the important things that others need to know when you're no longer here. So I want you to write down your answers to this. When do they feel happiest? Who are their most important people in their lives, aside from you, obviously? What are their routines? What are their favorite activities? What overwhelms them and what are their goals? And what does comfort look like to them? So take a moment, pause this video, and make note of all of this. I have 3 resources that I'm going to share with you that have been created by some other organizations that can help guide you in creating these future plans, such as those letters of intent and daily profiles. They're all really great and educational and really can help support that person and the family in that person-centered planning process. You will find them all linked in the video description, and then the next 3 slides I have also included QR codes for you to check out and scan so you can get started on all of these workbooks. There's the Making a Future Plan workbook, and that includes creating person-centered letters of intent, documenting daily routines, housing, financial, and medical wishes, and many other things. There's also the Thinking Ahead workbook, and that provides a way to advocate specifically for someone's wants when it comes to their medical care, maybe when they become seriously ill or maybe some end-of-life decisions. This is a great addition to complete for your loved one. There's also the Roadmap of Our Future Wishes workbook, and this focuses on a couple different things. It focuses on creating goals, identifying triggers, as well as thinking through the personal and family journey. It offers a variety of worksheets that can help others get to know the individual and all these other things that you can add to your plan. It also includes some additional considerations such as financial and legal decisions.